Welcome back to a new episode of Mastering Programming. In the previous episode, I showed you how you can get started with Power Apps and App Power Apps Studio to create some basic applications. In this episode, I'm going to go a little bit deeper and I'll show you some more elements that we can use and also how to use it and how to operate it. Now, the first thing that I'll always be doing is that I'll always be starting from scratch. So I'll click on Create and I'll click Create from Blank. And the reason for that is because while I'm learning, I just want to make sure that I'm able to use everything from scratch and not necessarily depend on a template. I'll select responsive, and if you want to know the difference between these, just watch the previous video. I'll select responsive. And I will skip this. Now straight away, just a reminder from previous video, this is the canvas, so anything I add here is what users using your app will be able to see once they load into your application. To test it, you can click on play and this will show you basically a presentation of what they'll be able to see, exactly as if they download it on Teams, for example, or Outlook. And here you can actually switch between looking at it from a browser, from a phone, or a tablet, or like a desktop, for example. Now, last time I showed you how to use buttons and how to use text. We just did some basic things such as changing what's inside a text from a button. In today's episode, I'll show you how you can upload images and use them, and how you can also use galleries or how you can use containers. So the first thing that I want to show is actually how to use containers. So at the moment, if I go ahead and click on the plus icon to insert an element, and let's say, for example, I add a text label over here, like this. Let's say I add another text label. What you realize is that it adds it on top of each other. But obviously, there might be a scenario where you have, for example, two text buttons and a button, and you want them to be right next to each other horizontally and not necessarily vertically. To do this is actually very easy, but it might be tricky at the start. What you need to do is come again to the insert, and you need to search for container. Now here you've got different containers. You've got grid container, which make things in a grid. You've got a vertical container, so it's that default option where you can layer out things on top of each other. And then you've got a horizontal container. And you can actually lay out things, you can lay out multiple different containers within each other. So let's say you want two things side by side and then stacked on top of each other. You can add a horizontal container and then a vertical container inside. Anyways, let's grab this horizontal container and add it into our canvas. And you can see that it's now at the bottom, and it also got added straight away to here. So what I'll do is I'll click on Tree View, and here you can see that this is your header, this is the main container, and inside of that main container you've got your label, the first label, second label, button, and then that container that we just added. We don't want them to be on top of each other, we want them to be inside of this container. And notice that if I drag this and put it at the top like that, now that horizontal container is actually visibly on top of the labels and the button. So that means that if I drag this and place it inside of the container, sometimes this can be a little bit annoying for some reason. So let's go ahead and click on the plus icon from within the container itself and add a text label like this. And now I can add it inside and add the button as well. Oops, sorry. Like this. So let me just remove that other text. There you go. So now we managed to drag things inside of the container. And now you can see that they're horizontally aligned to each other. So again, just a reminder, I'm gonna delete it and we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna click on plus, I'll search up for container, I'll select horizontal container, and then I'll click plus again, and then I'll add, let's say for example, an input, text input, there it is. And now I can just add a button, for example, go back to the tree view, and now I can drag that button inside of here. And now you can see that we've got a text field and a button horizontally stacked. So let's go ahead and play this and just see how it looks like. This is how it will look like. And now instead of on top of each other, they're next to each other. And I can just type something here, for example, and use this button to do something as well. Now, I also want to show you how we can place things on top of each other and next to each other at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this container. Oh, sorry, I'll delete the elements inside this container. And instead, I'm going to click on this plus icon, and I'm going to search for a vertical container, like this. and then I will I'll create another one. I'll select this, sorry, plus icon, vertical container, and add it. Now you can see that the vertical container was not added inside of the horizontal container. And we can actually rename this just so that we're not getting confused. So I'll call this H container for horizontal. And this I'll call it V container left, because I want this one to be on the left. And this one we'll make it V container right. Now let's go ahead and drag this and place it inside. So now you can see that this is the horizontal container. You can see this is the left vertical container and the right one, which means I can come over here and add, let's say for example, some text. Let's go over here and add some text. And now I can actually drag, let's say for example, a button and add that one over here like this. Grab another button and add it like this. And now you can see that we can lay out things next to each other, but also still be able to add things on top of each other. So this is basically how to use containers. Just to show you, let's also have a look at how we can use the grid containers. So let's have a look at this. Let's delete this. And instead, plus icon, and let's add the grid container. Now the grid container is cool because you can add, for example, an element like this and see how it gets added like that. If I create another one, so a button, it will keep adding elements right next to each other, and then it will automatically, if I just copy this and paste it, it will automatically grid it out. And the best thing about this is that all of these are actually interactable. So if you're building like a calculator or a calendar or something, you can definitely build it that way. It's a very quick way of laying it out so that they're always in a uniform, like boxed location, and it will automatically stretch it for you as well. Now, one more thing that we should probably go over is how to add images, or a button that you can use to upload images. So let's go ahead and click on insert. And again, let's search for button. Takes me a bit of time sometimes to find that one. Let's have a look at it manually. Add picture. There we go. So first of all, this whole section is responsible for allowing you to open certain things. So for example, here with this button, if I click on it, it will allow me to update, add an image, for example, and it will straight away show it. And then here, you can click on this and change the image as well, for example. Let me also show you another one that I find really cool, which is the import and export. So this allows you to export something or import it. You've got your microphone, you've got audio, video, and camera. This one, if I just add it over here and allow, you'll realize that now we have an image or a video of me basically appearing. And if you click on here, on the right side, you've got some different options. So this is camera 0. If I add 2, now it can't find it, for example. But you can actually allow it to connect to multiple different ones, and it would work as well if you have multiple cameras, for example, connected. Your display mode, I've got it as edit. So let me show you what that will look like. Now you can't interact with it at all, but there are options where you can actually allow you to do things. I'll click on it again. Here you can make it not visible or visible. You can change the width, let's say for example 600. And now the width of the camera is expanded, so the video can fit it, but because the camera that I have is actually not, then it stays to within the frame that it's selected with. Flexible height, you can allow it, and now it would sort of like stretch out bigger, but the ratio stays the same. On advanced, you've got a few different options that you can also do. Now, something else that I want to show you is that right now, it's not actually recording me, it's just streaming what I'm showing basically. But you can also add a few different things. So you can add a video, We can add an audio. We can even add a microphone. Let's have a look at what happens when I click it. So I'll allow, and now it's recording my audio. I'm not sure if both mics are connected or not, but if I go ahead and pause this, it doesn't get saved anywhere, or there's nothing actually taking this somewhere. You would need to sort of build that ability to actually record the audio, and in later videos I'll show you how to do that as well. Here you've got a few different things that you can use. So you've got something, and let's actually first delete this. And I actually didn't mean for my face to go all the way down like that. I'm not sure what happened. But here you've also got a measuring camera. So this one you can actually, I'll show you what it can do. So you can upload it. It might not work sometimes, or it might not work at least with the cam that I have. But you can actually select a particular like environment, and then if you come here and click measure in AI, yeah, it wouldn't work because it's on desktop, not on mobile. But you can actually measure things with an app. So you can create an app that measures things using mobile phone in like a few seconds. But I'm on a desktop, so it wouldn't work, for example. You can also add 3D images or 3D objects. So we can add that here. And you can actually select what kind of object you want. So you can provide a source here. And let me just show you what that looks like. So I can click play, and you can actually interact with the option. If you're someone who has their own model, you can actually upload it here, and you can see that I can fully interact sort of with it and view it, and it's just pretty cool. And you can reset it to original basically. This was it for this episode. I wanted to go over some of the cool other elements that you have and how you can use it. In the next episode, I'll then start showing you how to create functions and how you can actually perform some proper actions using Power Apps. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next episode.